Hey, are you struggling with adding more value to your online courses? Well, in this lesson, we're learning all about certificates for online courses. So that way you can charge more and you can add more value. And the students are going to love having certificates after completing your course. Hi, I'm Angel from RTCourseExperts.com, and we help creative teachers with tech for their online courses, membership communities, and coaching websites. In this lesson, we're learning all about certificates for your online courses. What is it? Why use them? What are some of the benefits? How do you configure it? Then we'll go over an example, and finally, we'll summarize our best tips. So let's start off with what is a certificate? Well, a certificate is, in the old days, a piece of paper, right? It has a nice little border. It says that certificate that you completed something, you learned something, you got a degree, you got awarded something. So in these days, it's all digital. So maybe it's like an image or a PDF, but nevertheless, you get a certificate that provides proof that you completed a course or training. So you, as the course creator, the teacher, the academy owner, you get to create these certificates, and we'll get into that in a second. And then students get to use the certificate to prove or to just be proud that they completed your course. Now, why would you consider taking your current online course? Maybe it's a bunch of videos or an email program or some sort of coaching program. Why would you consider adding a certificate? Well, it lets you charge more, right? So you're going to value stack. You're adding more things, just like you would add bonuses and templates or to examples or swipe files to your online course to give students a head start. Well, the certificate adds value. So with that certificate, you can potentially charge more, and then students are going to value that certificate that's certified, all that sort of stuff. So, and students can then use that certificate for their goals. Maybe it's to prove to somebody that they know something. Maybe it's a job, a resume, an application, that they're certified in a certain, maybe in a certain creative skill. And then, of course, they're just going to feel proud by printing out and hanging up or even framing that certificate. So let's get into a how-to guide. First, let's go over some of the benefits. So for teachers, it's going to add value to your product offering. So you have a product, it's an online course, it's a bundle, it's some sort of training, and now you can brag that you will get certified, includes a certificate. For some of your students, it might really matter a lot. For others, they might just be learning some skills, or they're at a certain level where they just need to solve a problem that you're going to help them learn. Also, as a teacher, you're going to seem more established. Your entire academy is going to just get raised up. It's more higher level. So by offering certificates across all your different programs, that's going to level up your academy. You're not just this YouTube video, but you're this training program with expertise. And of course, that'll help you later when maybe you offer a community or training or coaching. And that's going to be great for your academy as you offer additional services like a community or coaching. And finally, you as the business owner, the creative teacher, you're going to get additional benefits from marketing. People are going to start to learn about your academy. It's one more thing that's part of your portfolio. So you have your training, you might have your frameworks and your certified sequence. These are my 3 steps to doing this thing or learning this creative skill. Well, in addition to all that, you're now going to have additional marketing effects because word's going to get out there that, oh, your academy, people are going to hear about it through jobs or through conversations. And that's going to further increase your revenues, your growth, your number of students. Now, for students, they're going to, first of all, feel proud that they have a certificate, right? That they accomplished this, okay? And related to that, and when they take that certificate and they share it, again, you're going to get marketing effects. So they're sharing that certificate. People are going to learn about your brand name. They're going to talk about it with their circle, with their community, with their tribes. So word is going to get out about your design course, your fashion course, your writing course, etc. So that's good. So they're going to feel proud, and they're going to, show it off. Secondly, they're going to know it was a good investment. So they got that certificate, and now they're like, hey, I learned this thing. Let me go ahead and learn potentially another thing from you guys. So having that certificate out, that brand awareness, making those students proud that they learned something, and really psychologically knowing that, hey, they paid some money, and yeah, they're now at the next level. So now they can go ahead and maybe take another course from you or another training program from you. And finally, students are going to be able to use the certificate, not physically, but just writing about it and talking that they have this certificate on their resume, on their job application, on that email with a potential employer. So it really just helps motivate some students. Again, depending on where their journey is, what they need this education for. Maybe it's continuing learning, or maybe they're at the very beginning of their career. Regardless, they might want to get those additional certifications, those trust seals that help them move into their next goal, whatever it is that you do to help your students. Next, let's talk about how to actually set up the certificate. So first of all, there's a very important step. You may be using technology to create your certificates automatically. So you may be using a program like Kajabi, Thinkific, Teachable, and that they already provide certificates, right? And so that's great. So if you're using a system like that and they're creating certificates, they automatically generate them for every single student that passes the course. And there's all sorts of criteria. Did they complete the course? Did they view all lessons? How many hours did they spend? That sort of stuff. And you could configure that. And basically, at the end of the course, the students are going to automatically get awarded a certificate. Now, you may not have that whole system set up. You may not be at that level, or maybe your LMS doesn't support some of these features. Well, in the very beginning, maybe you don't offer certificates for all your courses, only maybe some of your high-end, or maybe you're just dabbling. So another option that you have is that you can manually make these certificates. You can go create a Google slide, a PowerPoint, a Keynote, etc., put a nice little background there, and create a very low-tech certificate that you or your team manually creates every time a student completes the course. And this might be also good when you want to manually verify some of the content, like maybe they're doing a particular music piece or a certain fashion piece, and they send you a little video, and you're like, yeah, they really did learn those skills. And my certificate is worth something. It's not just junk paper being printed. So again, you could use technology to potentially auto-create these certificates and provide those PDF for students, or you can go ahead and manually review and potentially even manually print out and create the PDF and send it to your students. So once you have a technique to create and deliver these certificates, let's go over some of the items that you'll need to configure on these certificates. So you'll want to have a nice background, right? This is maybe one of those nice resume paper looking things. So it's like it almost looks like beige marble or something like that. It probably has a really elegant border around it. So a nice background, a nice border. You're going to specify, your academy name. You're going to insert your logo of your academy. You're going to have a nice headline, right? Something like, this certifies that, or, just nice, big, fancy letters to say, this is a certificate in, or something like that. You're going to have all the connectors, right? These are all the little words. So the title says this certifies that, and then you have the helper word that so-and-so did this thing on this date. So you're going to have all those kind of the template of these helper words. And then you're going to want a nice seal, right? Something that, traditionally looks, like a nice circle with a kind of ribbon with all the little triangles all around it, and maybe the two tassels that come out of it. So, a nice little visual seal. You got the title there. that really is the front and center of that certificate. And that's important. That's just this is all the outside stuff, just, context so that people know, oh, wow, this is a real certificate. And then you're going to fill in all those details. You're going to have the name of your course. You're going to have maybe your name of your course is very specific. So you just might have some context, like here's the topic. Maybe you're teaching, hair design or special effects or poetry. So you're going to, have kind of like almost like a college name where the School of Psychology, and then you have the very specific degree. So you're going to want to do that same thing. So you have your academy, you kind of give them a context with what was this topic about, and then the exact name of the course. You could even include an image to provide additional context of what that topic was about. It could be a person, a crafter doing their thing, or maybe, it's a symbolic or a diagram image of a particular subfield. Of course, you're going to have the student name. You're going to have the instructor name. You might have training details like potentially how many lessons or how many hours or whether they took tests, all that stuff to really just add, proof and validity that the person didn't just watch three short videos, but there was some amount of time there. And you could potentially add up the total training time of not just your videos, maybe reviewing the resources. You can come up with an estimate, and that could give you a better total time invested that your students made. And then, of course, you're going to include a date of when this course was completed. You might even have an expiration date if it makes sense for your field, or maybe not if you want to be a good sport and let your students extract more value from it as opposed to expiring it, unless you're teaching something that really does change every 10 years or 5 years, in which case you potentially encourage continuing learning. All right, so that's the high level how-to, benefits for teachers, benefits for students, then how you set it up. You're going to choose your tech or decide to go manual, and then you're going to figure out the key fields that you want to create those certificates. Hey, just a reminder, you probably found us by looking for ideas on how to improve, or maybe you were trying to fix a problem and found us. But before you forget, please subscribe to keep learning, and maybe share this with a bestie. You rock. Let's keep going. Now let's check out an example. So say you're teaching hairstyling, right? Maybe hairstyling for television and film. Okay, so you have a whole academy on styling hair, cool hairdos, bed hair, night hair, party hair, whatever. So you're getting good at, hairstyling for TV and movies. And so you have a whole course, you got videos on these kind of hairstyles, you got, products, you got all this stuff. You got a list, you got a community where they help each other, maybe a job board, all this fun stuff. So you got a whole course, and you decide that you wanted to go higher end. You might be charging a certain price, and now you want to charge a lot more. Maybe, you were charging $300, you want to start charging $500. Okay? So you come up with a couple of ideas to add value. First of all, you change the value. Did that slow down your purchasing, right? So when you just change your price, sometimes you could change your price and it doesn't affect the number of students that you're getting every month. But if it does, or you want to accelerate more, then you might want to think about ways to add value to your hairstyling course. So you might come up with an ultimate guide of where to buy products, high-end products, certain looks. So maybe you have a couple of cheat sheets that you provide, or ebooks, or however you frame it. And then you might also decide, hey, let me add a certificate here that they can hang up while they're doing hair, right? So behind them, when they're doing the work, they want to show off a certificate because they're in person, they're not online. So they might as well leverage that certificate. So you're like, cool, so let's go ahead and add that certificate. And you start thinking about, what are the fields am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And you're looking at your system and you see, hey, cool, there's this feature deep in there. I didn't even know about it, or I kind of heard about it, but I didn't know how to connect it. So you or a tech team like RT Course Experts helps you set all this stuff up and get all the integrations going, get the automatic emails going, set up the art assets, etc. So you start to set up your platform. Let's just say that your hairstyling courses are on Thinkific. You start to set up Thinkific and make sure that all the certificates are there. You configure it per course, the metadata, all the information you're going to need. So first thing is you're going to set up all those key certificate fields. Maybe what's the headline? What's your official academy name? Maybe not the short version, the longer name, the more formal name of your academy. You're going to also have the academy logo, right? What's the name of your school? You're going to have the official name of the course. Now, remember, this is a little different than SEO or the thumbnails that you use to sell. So now you want to kind of go a little longer, a little more formal, a little more bragging, if you will, to blow out that academy name, the course name. You're going to want a field for the student, right? So when they signed up, you may have had a first name, a last name, instead of just one big edit box. So you're going to want to make sure that those fields map to the descriptions that are being used inside the certificate. So often there might be codes like brackets, F name, or L name for first name and last name. So you're going to want to test that out as well, that student, when the certificate comes out, it's correct. It doesn't just butcher their name or drop the middle name or a hyphen. So you're going to want to test all that out. I recommend all creative teachers have like a test account, right? Like a QA or a tester or, fake student app, and then use those to verify that everything's working out. You're going to want to put your instructor name. So, this is where you can also, maybe in the course, you were pretty casual, but maybe for the certificate, you want to be, first name, last initial, or, add some, maybe you have a master's in fine arts since you're a creative teacher, or you were certified. So you have a comma with a couple of your certificates that you have. So you're going to want to think about how your instructor name appears on these certificates as well. And in some cases, there might be more than one instructor, right? So how do you frame that up? Then you might also decide to add some training details, like the number of hours that were required for this certificate, or even the dates. So maybe the date completed, not the date started. So if it makes sense, you might have expired. So you're going to get all these fields in there. Some of these fields are going to be hard-coded. Others will be automatic. So you're going to want to make sure that those parameters are working correctly and they're transferred from that first check-in and onboarding all the way through at the end when you're creating those certificates. And then you're either going to use your technology to create these certificates, these PDFs, not only create, but also deliver, right? To email, to print out. Hey, in a high-end course, you could print them out yourself in a nice service, high-end, glossy. Heck, you could even frame it and mail them to your customers. Obviously, that doesn't scale, but for the right price and the high, kind of a VIP masterclass, you could potentially do that for the right price. So you're either going to use technology to create these final art assets, the PDF for that certificate, or you're going to do it low tech and you're going to have one of your slides, Keynote, Illustrator, whatever, where you can, even Canva, right? Where you can pop in, create that certificate, and you could then create a PDF or a JPEG or a PNG, and then you could figure out how to deliver that to your student, whether you're emailing it, whether you're uploading it online as a message. Hey, here's a chat message. Congratulations, here's your certificate, right? And however you decide to do that kind of final delivery and handholding, depending on your level or course, whether you're dealing with thousands of students or dozens at a time. Everybody's going to do a different procedure. And you might start off manually and then scale, or you might start off with automatic systems, but then go manual, but very high end. Up to you, depending on how you want to frame your academy. All right. So at a high level, offering certificates provides more value and helps students with their next steps. Let's summarize. Here are the top things you need to know about certificates for your online courses. First of all, it's a piece of paper. It could be physical or digital. It's got a really beautiful border. It's got a clear title. It's really elegant, and it makes students really proud. They know that they had a good investment, and potentially it's helping them with their journey, their next career step. For you as the teacher, as the business owner, the creative training program, you get to charge more. You get to add more value to what you deliver for your students, and that's going to help your business. Once you go and you configure it, there's a few pieces that you're going to configure either manually or automatically using your LMS technology. Don't forget to test. So now you're a lot smarter on certificates for online courses. If you're loving this stuff, go ahead and subscribe to keep leveling up your training business. To learn more, check out the expanded details and links in the notes. And if you need any tech help with your online courses, your membership community, or your coaching website, visit www.rtcourseexperts.com. Thanks for hanging out. Let's stay in touch.